that I heard about. And I was curious about this. And so I almost remember the name of the company. It just escaped my mind. So I went up there to kind of check out this thing, and here they had this huge plotter. It was in a dark room, like as a photo process, that would make whatever large things, okay? But nothing could connect to it. It was, you had to have like a file, you had to bring a file, right? But you couldn't like from the computer to connect to this thing. And the computers we were using were mainframes that had reel, those large reels. And I thought, like, I wonder if we can like print our large maps that we make in the GIS product, Esri product. I wonder if we can get that. Like, if we could, like, would that be cool? But there was no way to get it there. There was no drivers or anything. So I wrote device drivers that would create these files electronically and transfer it from a 9-track tape to a DAT tape, and then they would transfer to another format. And we did this, I was just doing this experiment, a little bit. And just doing it in my spare time. And did some, and they were looking for, like, as a company, we're trying to solve this problem, right? So we had this little partnership going on, this kid, because they're trying to see if this is a viable service. So they were really appreciative of my help. And we did some prototyping. It's like, oh yeah, it looks like it kind of works. And then I get called into a meeting. And by this time, at this time, I'm an illustrator. I'm not a computer scientist, although I dabble in technology and write code a little bit. I may have maybe I started my computer science degree. I don't remember. But one of my friends in the work environment was a guy by the name of Dave Wilson, who he's one of my 3 mentors in life. He was the head of IT. And we connected because we both had Amiga computers. I wasn't really a fan of IT, like, as a career at that time, because it's like, I thought IT was just coding all day long, and that seemed boring. But it was through my relationship with him that I learned more about IT. But anyway, I get called in this meeting, and I'm sitting at this big table, and my boss is there, Ed Kennison, his boss, I almost remember her name, Judy something, and the head of the Washington office was there, a couple of the scientists that were working on this project, and Dave Wilson was the head of IT. And I'm like, why am I here? I'm just like a peon, right? I'm just, okay, whatever. And they're talking about this report, the scientific report that John Vaccaro, who's world-renowned geologist, was working on, studying some topic in eastern Washington. It's called the RASA, Regional Aquifer System Analysis Report. And the report is like 5 years behind schedule. Now, the main output of this report, when I say report, I'm talking about like the science and, the results and that sort of thing, the data. But one of the main outputs of this report, the vision of this, were 12 large full-color maps of eastern Washington showing the areas of these hydrologic systems and the characteristics of these systems. Now, they asked Ed, our boss, okay, this thing's, it's behind. We're almost ready to give you the data, Mr. Illustrator. How long would it take for you to make these full-color charts? And he says, well, it'll probably take about 6 months for each. And I'm hearing this, I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right, because, that's how we'll do it, and I'm like, oh my God, are you telling me, Ed, it's going to take 6 more years just to produce the maps? Yeah? Is there a way we can speed it up? Well, if we did a black and white, it would be quicker, because then we don't have to make it one for each color, right? So that'd be a little bit quicker. It'd probably only take a couple of months or whatever he said. And of course, the science is like, no, it's got to be color, because you can't, there's too many, the number of different things to represent is just too complex. You can't do it black and white. And I'm still wondering why they're on the city. And so everyone's like, oh my God, man, we're just like a crisis. And then the IT director, Dave Wilson, says, well, Michael's experimenting with this thing. and maybe that could help. I'm like, wait, what? This is so like skunk work and so at the early stages of development, right? I'm like, this isn't like prime time at all, right? I'm thinking like, holy crap. And so the department head says, oh really, Michael? Like, if you, whatever this thing you're doing, like, how long would it take for you to produce these reports using, the approach that you said, that you're experimenting with? Like, God, it's never been done before, like anywhere in the world. I have no idea. And if it works, I don't know, maybe a month for each one. And they're like, holy shit, this just went from 6 years to 1 year, right? Okay, now this is, and people are like gasping. I'm like, no, total disbelief. But I said, hey, it's unproven. It's never been done, right? I mean, this is like, I'm writing the device drivers for the equipment for it to actually happen. And he says, well, okay, let's do this. Michael, why don't you do one, and you start working on the other 11. And we'll see, we'll kind of hedge our bets. We'll see if you can prove out this technology, and, like, okay. And I'm like, holy shit, what did I just agree to? I had, like, in terms of, like, solving this problem and figuring out, like, 90% of it was unfigured out. I only knew, like, maybe 10%, and oh my God.
How old were you?
I'm in my early 20s.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, shit. So I go back to we go back to our places, and I go to my drafting table, and Ed in his office, I could see him, we could see each other, right? And I'm just sitting there like, oh, shit, how am I going to... And I had like that sinking feeling, how you get, right? And I'm like, I was sweating, and I just got to pop through it. So I did the first one, and I completed the first one in 2 weeks. And that was the beginning of using technology to do illustration. And Ed Kennison, he was always against technology, and he had did a 180. And bless his heart. There's a lot of things I was experimenting with which are totally stupid. But he was like, now he's wanting to learn like how to do these things, and he was willing to listen to this 20-year-old and try the things that 20-year-old was trying, even though looking back, some of the things I was trying were absolutely ridiculous. Like one example, it's almost embarrassing to talk about. We bought a Apple laser writer printer. It's a laser printer specifically from Apple, and we bought that one, or IT department bought that one, because it was the cheapest one. The predominant printer at the time were HP LaserJets, but they were, I don't know, 50% more or something, right? So it had this Apple laser writer, and it had an HP cartridge, so it could use HPGL, was the language that it would print. But one of the things about that Apple laser writer printer is it had a built-in PostScript processor that also can interpret PostScript. What the hell is PostScript? So I'm starting to read about this thing, and you can see, and PostScript was like, oh my God, these are amazing, pictures. Right at the time, HPGL was just text, and you had different cartridges for different fonts, right? And so it's like, man, this is cool. You can do lines, and so I taught myself how to write PostScript code. No one does this, right? This is something, the language that the computer or the printer has built in. No one writes PostScript code. But PostScript is a drawing language. So you say line 2, this coordinate to this coordinate. So I built this, tools to help me figure this thing out. And one of the
most cool, actually.
I was geeking out over it. It was fun. It was a learning thing, right? Yeah. But one of our forms that we had, that we filled out all the time, and they were annoying as hell, was I almost remember the name of it, but it was a GPO number 1, GPO 1 or something. It's basically a form for the government printing office. When we wanted to print a report, this form had all the information about how to print this report. And when I'm talking about printing, I'm talking about these are physical things, right? These aren't electronic files. It would say how many copies, whether it be double-sided, single-sided, what colors, how many colors, type of binding. All this information about how to actually produce this report. And because we would produce these things into the thousands, right? It's not like these are actual print production stuff. And the thing about that form is we print